Hi. We
Hi.
just got back from Avengers Infinity War. And so this is the spoiler-free section of Avengers Infinity War. If we will talk about not favorite moments. We're not going to talk about really anything other than probably technical things and character interactions we thought were good.
This
Because
gonna be very hard to do at
because
all.
literally anything we describe is a big spoiler. So I suppose for a non-spoiler, I loved it. Would you?
Oh no, I think it was beautifully
It was really good.
made.
Really good.
It was good.
It was good.
It was
If you're looking for a typical Marvel movie, you're not going to find it. I think that's safe. Sweetie,
the direction was really good.
direction was really good.
The plot threads, for as many as there were, did flow very nicely. I was a little bit worried about that.
It was a well balanced movie.
Yes.
I did not expect it to actually
Be as balanced.
to be as eloquent, like as massive as a story as this was. I did not expect it to be as eloquently told as it could have been. I have not seen Man of Steel. I have not seen anything since Man of Steel from DC, and we kind of broke the rule there that you're not really supposed to bring up DC movies. But yeah, honestly, this is probably the best way to tell this story, and it's
the
really
only
good.
way to tell a story without having it's the only way to do it, and it does such a wonderful job of transitioning, even when there's two different things going on at the same time. You never feel lost. You just go, oh, okay, we're doing that, and this is all this is all happening at once. It never feels construed or forced or shoehorned or anything. It's just I would oh
I honestly, like yeah, like she said, it's really well paced, and I probably could have gone another half hour. It was about 2 hours and 8 minutes.
yeah,
It
it
didn't
did
feel
not
like it.
feel like it was over 2 hours long. It felt like I wanted more. I was like, no, we're moving on to the next thing, right? No.
Yeah. And yeah, no scene really left you wanting. Like they advance. They would. There's like four set pieces. There's a lot of
There's a
set
lot,
pieces.
and
There's like
they do the whole labeling the thing under because the
Guardians of the Galaxy did that.
yeah,
And
because well once
it's
you move into space,
oh yeah,
which we
we
know.
are in space. That's not a big spoiler.
Yeah,
But
no, people know that from because we knew that we were going to be seeing the Guardians.
mhm.
So like that's not a spoiler, but they do make sure that you know where everybody is at what time. It's very clear, and
Mhm.
all the set pieces are very distinct and unique. Really,
Yeah, I was
they
shocked
were
on how
gorgeous,
especially
and they move around a lot. They move for as much as they move around. I
especially
was never lost.
especially there was one character hopping around like, and it's just
A
like, oh,
lot.
he's there now, and it didn't feel forced. No, it was great. I liked every single bit of this movie. I'm sure we're gonna go see it tomorrow
Yeah,
because
we're
of
seeing it
course
a second time.
of course we are. And I didn't spot any immediate mistakes. This is still me writing off a first impression though. So
Yeah,
to me, it's not my favorite Marvel movie. At least
well,
not.
we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about
in
we'll
the
talk about that in a
spoiler
bit.
area.
But it's not my favorite. But like, it's so good. Like this is must see. You must see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
It'll smack you across the face.
No, okay. All right. So I think you guys will love it. Don't expect all smile. There are good jokes.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of fantastic
there's a lot
jokes.
of good banter.
Really
Especially between like the new interactions and everything. Like the new interactions are some of the most fun pieces, of course.
The ones that we were hoping to. Almost all the snarky characters at one point have talked to each other. That's wonderful. I love that.
Yeah, and like obviously there's going to be different groups, different sets of team ups going on, and those were all great. I liked seeing all these characters come together the way they'd so well orchestrated. I cannot believe how well orchestrated it
Not,
oh my god!
No, and no one really felt underpowered. Like when you put like someone like Black Widow with someone like Thor, Black Widow did not feel wasted. No one felt wasted here. Everyone felt utilized really well. Some characters were more important than others, which
we expected.
you kind of
you have to. I mean, especially with
yeah, especially in a setting like this. There's
yeah.
always characters like that. So I think this will have to be the end of the non-spoilers. I
That's
say it's
all we can say. Yeah.
Do we want to give it a numerical out of 5?
I'm still reeling. I don't know if
I don't think I can.
No.
First impression, 4 out of 5 for me. This is a first impression. I really like this. As far as my favorite Marvel movie, for me, probably Guardians 2, Thor Ragnarok, and anyway, I don't want to really do that, but like I liked those movies more, if you could say that. But I liked them for much different reasons that I liked this movie.
This movie was just a beautifully
Real good. Go see it. Stop watching now because I think we want to talk about spoilers, guys. So
okay.
we're gonna click off that, and we're gonna click the other one. Spoiler warning. We are talking about
yes. Spoiler warning.
Oh my god!
Avengers Infinity War spoilers too, because we cannot talk about the rest of this movie without talking about
Yeah, every single we're talking about plot elements, and get out now.
And characters and items and oh my god!
So, right off the bat, right at the start of the movie, we if you have not seen Thor Ragnarok, you have to see this. You have to. Oh, probably should have said that in non-spoilers. I'll put it in the description. You have to see Thor Ragnarok because it takes off like minutes, minutes after that.
Oh god.
And
it probably only took them minutes.
We start off with Thanos being inside the Asgard ship. Everyone's dead. Like every Asgardian and Mick and Fogger, the rock guy, are dead. We didn't even see them. They're dead. They're just gone. Thanos shows up. Thor already starts off KO'd. Loki gets a real good line in and then dies like right away.
And very
gruesome. Gruesome, brutal.
This movie, this is why we couldn't talk about it before, because it is dark.
It's brutal. It pulls no punches. When it first started, it felt like a DC movie. It was hard to watch because
a little bit, but at the same time, like I don't want to compare it to that because
no, like
because the thing is DC is dark and gritty because it's a force dark and gritty. This legit felt like the worst thing imaginable was happening, and it was horrifying.
Yeah, things went 0 to 100 real quick. So Loki dies. Heimdall managed to cast one last spell to save Hulk. Hulk got teleported to Earth, where he runs into Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And
Doctor Strange and Tony are already trying to have a fighting competition with their egos.
Yeah, so Doctor Strange goes to alert Tony, which there's I think one of the saddest exchanges in the movie was right there at the beginning with Iron Man talking to Pepper, and he had a dream that she was pregnant, and he was ready to start a family, and he like permanently put another arc reactor here with like some. It's just kind of sitting there really awkwardly.
It's on the shirt, she said.
It's on the shirt.
It's on the shirt.
And it's yeah.
That was the thing. That was the but then like immediately he gets pulled away and I have to like you can't not and
so he starts talking with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange tells him about Thanos because he talked with Hulk. By the way, Hulk got bushwhacked by Thanos. Like Hulk shows up for a second and gets his ass kicked. Like,
it's one of the best lines in the movie too. And then Loki just.
So I'm sorry. Back to Doctor Strange. So they're talking about Thanos. Let's see, and then Thanos's minions show up. Like seconds after that.
Yeah, like they didn't have a whole lot of time to waste. Like you definitely get the feeling that they didn't have a lot of time to waste, but at the same time, they orchestrated it all so well that it didn't feel rushed either, because they still allowed time for all the characters to get their talking points in, to get to know each other a little bit, to understand the gravity of the situation. And my God, do you feel the gravity of this situation in particular? It was like, no, the universe is in danger, and everybody's like, all right, all right, what's where and what do we do? And like
And
then
they had no time to prepare either. Like
no, no,
they
like
couldn't even make a phone call because
no, they do not like it turns into like 3 or 4 groups of them all over the place. I mean, like somebody thought about this like continuity and this web of series of events and planned it all very carefully so that it all like came to a head in this perfect perfectly orchestrated just
you said perfectly orchestrated like 8 times.
I know, but it is, and I'm like still in shock because like everything was just so.
Anyway, so Doctor Strange, Tony, Wong, and Bruce Banner meet. And the way they handle baddies in this one, there's like 6 mini bosses. They're like children of Thanos, and they start showing up and wrecking stuff. And
Yeah.
Tony and Strange, they fight like a wizard and their own and a Hulk. The wizard, by the way, was super cool. I liked the bad guy wizard.
Yeah, no, I liked him too.
He's like this elegant
Spider-Man.
thin guy. Oh, and then Peter Parker showed up. Doctor Strange and Tony get some really good banter. They fight off these guys and they're losing immediately. Things go south because they're after Doctor Strange's time stone, who's still holding that. Eventually,
we really want to go through event by event.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
There's I don't know. What'd you think of that? This fight between Strange, Peter Parker, Wong, Hulk. I'm just listing characters.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna be here for 4 hours if we do that. Like no, it was just that group was on a team up to do one of the mini bosses. So it was like he said, it was Strange, Spider-Man, and
either way,
Tony.
Yeah,
and then like they get shot off into space, and so we've got one group in space, and then we immediately move over to the Guardians.
Spider-Man and Tony and Doctor Strange are now in space because Doctor Strange got captured by the Wizard.
Yes, now they're after to try to save the time stone to save it. So like all we see is like them hitchhiking a ride on the spaceship, and they are with mini boss number 1, and then we move over to the Guardians running into the destroyed Asgard ship and picking up Thor, who is he's a god, so he's still alive.
Yeah,
like just floating in space.
So Thanos did not kill him. Yeah.
No, he was gonna let space take care of him. So they pick him up, and of course they figure out, oh, he's Asgardian, and he wakes up, and then they talk about Thanos, and of course with Gamora being the daughter of Thanos, she knows that this is a problem, and they split up actually and go into 2 different spots themselves.
You are covering things in a very strange order.
That's what happened.
Well, anyway,
we have to abridge it somehow.
I understand. I really like that scene because Thor, being this macho, powerful god with a voice like like silky honey.
Yeah, Star-Lord immediately just trying to like imitate him, and Gamora's like, stop.
Because Peter immediately feels emasculated by Thor because he's such a manly man, and of course all the Guardians are oogling over Thor because wow, his muscles are like Titan steel.
Well, his biology, and they're like, yeah, he's not a normal human. He's like an actual.
This isn't a dude. This is a man.
Yeah, you're a dude. This is a man.
Peter threatens Thor. Are you lowering your voice?
Super. And then they do a copying fight. Of course, the Guardians humor, it was a little bit awkward with Thor. That like I don't think
Thor was funny in Ragnarok.
No, but it doesn't match Guardians. Guardians is pure awkward humor, and Thor is more like he's always stalling for time or trying to think of something. Like, you can always tell us something else going on in his head. Where this one, he was like, "You're all actual morons," and then like you could just tell he was kind of. He felt insulted being around a couple of them a little bit.
It was his own weird, like, sincere, backhanded insults. He was.
Yeah, he doesn't like because he doesn't goof around like they do. He's not used to that, so he was like, "This is stupid. I'm gonna go save the world," and like I don't care what you guys are doing. I'm doing this and blah blah blah.
So yeah, Thor, Rocket, and Groot split up to go to that star forge that made Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the Guardians went to nowhere.
Nowhere to try to protect
The Reality Stone, I think.
The Aether.
Mm-hmm. No. I think you're right. No, you might be right. No,
Aether,
you're right. I'm sorry.
Reality Stone.
So,
yeah, that turned out well.
Anything else happen on Earth? I could.
Not yet. No, because
So,
the thing is, like I said, because we won't be. But I don't even think we'll get.
I don't think
straight.
I don't actually. Yeah, I don't even think we can abridge it. There's so many things happening at once. I've already lost track because we go back to Earth for a while, and I think Hulk. Oh no, we go to Scarlet Witch and Vision. And Scarlet Witch and Vision are so cute. And
shut up.
They made it real cute.
Yeah.
Do you know why they made it real cute? They made it real cute so they can rip your heart out. And oh my god, like Vision. Honestly, okay. So Vision and Scarlet Witch get attacked by too many bosses because Vision and Scarlet Witch are now a couple, and they take a few weeks off once in a while to go be a couple. And it's funny because the Sokovia, like the Avengers and Captain America's group, just kind of ignore that they do this. It's like an open secret that they all share, and it's super cute. I love it.
Well, I mean, they're still all supportive of each other in a way. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, I do want to mention that since we're in the spoiler territory, Ant-Man and Clint are not in this movie. Mm-hmm. They specifically state that those two had went under because they had families. They went under voluntary house arrest. Mm-hmm. So that's why the only movie you think we're getting between Infinity War Parts 1 and 2 is the second Ant-Man movie.
I think it's Ant-Man and then Captain Marvel, I believe.
Well, yeah,
but anyway, yeah. Continuing, where are we at? So they get attacked, and I actually don't appreciate what they kind of did to Vision in this movie. Vision seemed very underpowered for as much as they built him up in the other movies.
They kept damaging him. They kept trying to knock him down onto another level, and they played up Scarlet Witch a little bit, mm-hmm. which, I'm not completely against.
Scarlet Witch, her powers are always so vague that they're kind of, they almost treated her a bit like the Phoenix Force in X-Men.
But with more limitations, I think, because she can be more easily knocked out. She doesn't have like godhood.
She's kind of like Jean Grey, not Phoenix Force.
And they've mentioned it before that she could affect the Mind Stone, because when Civil War happened, the only person that could, retain Vision was Scarlet Witch. So that is continuity there.
Okay, yeah, but just freaking. Yeah, Vision gets knocked around a lot. He gets turned into a ragdoll more times than I'm really comfortable with.
Well, they kind of snuck attack him and they damage him first off, and then he's got battle damage the entire movie.
Yeah, he doesn't get better.
Never. Like everything that they do to him, they do, and it just tears him down. He seems to whittle him down bit by bit, because even like afterwards, like his mind stone connection probably isn't like all there. Like when in between of trying to.
Yeah, so much for being powered by an Infinity Stone. He kind of.
Yeah, like that was the one thing I did kind of notice, but I know why they did it, and we knew he was gonna be knocked out of the movie fairly early anyway because of what the Mind Stone. Mm-hmm. So, oh god,
Captain America and his group, they rescue Scarlet Witch and Vision. The two mini bosses just kind of go away on their ship, and then they start heading away, and that's the end of that scene. And then we go back to, I believe, Thor, Rocket, and Groot.
And they're arriving at the dwarf thing. Basically, the entire, Thor's entire side quest, and this is all we need to talk about. This is that he's going to a star to have a new weapon forged that can fight Thanos. That's his whole thing, but it takes a while because they get there and the star is dead. There's only one dwarven smith left, and he's
played by Peter Dinklage.
And it is wonderful. But he has to, it's just him and Rocket and Groot reigniting the forge and helping him forge this new axe. And we do get a lot of really good Thor moments during that, but I mean I don't want to spoil all of it. So but that's his entire side quest. We hit that scene.
We can actually kind of skip like she said, Thor's whole thing. making that new weapon.
Yeah.
And he made it with a dwarf, Peter Dinklage, inside the Dying Star, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best. It's probably one of my favorite scenes, actually.
And that's pretty much his thing. So
And we're kind of seeing a lot of just prep work going on. Like we can feel the war building up. We see Bucky get his new arm made by the Wakandans. There's a lot of talk with the Captain America's group, which at this point is Captain America, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. Banner comes in and reunites with him because Banner was the one that made the call originally.
And War Machine
yeah.
War Machine kind of like they talked about the Accords a bit, but then they just kind of hand waved it away.
Yeah,
which was really what you have to do.
Well, the thing is, like they walked in on Rhodey talking to the generals and Captain America, like, because Tony's up in space, he's missing. He's like on the news missing, and Captain America walks in with his group with Rhodey right there, and Captain America's like, you can arrest us or we're going to be here to help you, but we're here to help whether you want us to or not. So Rhodey gets called by the general, arrest them, and he says okay, and he turns off the communication and he gets a beep and he's like, okay, that's a court martial, what do you guys, nice to see you guys again, let's go save the world. And like he is wearing one of Tony's like suits to help him walk. He's clearly still not fully healed, might not ever be fully healed thing, but he is able to be War Machine in the movie, which I thought was a really cool touch, because of course Tony would integrate all the technology for him to be able to still do all that.
We saw them do that in Civil War too. Like he was working on the walking legs already.
Well, yeah, I mean, so like, but it's all prelude. But it's good to know that he's healthy enough to work the suit. Is my point.
That's good.
But so we got that big old group now, and they're basically trying to figure out how to preserve Vision without killing him because they want to break the Mind Stone. So their entire thing is moving around on Earth. Like I said, everybody moves around a lot in here. And they go to Wakanda to try to see if they can't separate the Mind Stone from Vision himself without killing him. Because Wanda doesn't want to do it, and because
she's in love, and they're in love, and they're super cute.
So the whole everything kind of comes to a head at Wakanda, because Thanos at this point we have been seeing him walk around and like visit a whole ton of places and get.
The Peter, Gamora, Drax and Mantis. They all go to nowhere and they encounter Thanos. And the big thing with that one is, by the time they got there, he already had the reality stone. He did this big, like illusion.
Huge illusion.
Really good.
He made illusion entire of nowhere. Had them, because they looked around like, this looks abandoned. But they got in there and they have a confrontation. I'm not going to spoil the entire confrontation because, again.
Yep.
But
main point is Gamora goes with Thanos.
Yeah. Thanos kidnaps his daughter back and he drops the illusion and the entire place has been pillaged and already dead. And they're like, so he gets away with his third stone at that point. And then
because before the movie even started, he already got the Power Stone from Xandar?
Yeah.
Xandar? Is that the name?
I don't remember.
The Nova Corps planet. Yeah, like he apparently, like Nova Corps is gone. He already did that before, like off screen. And then he got the Tesseract.
They didn't have time for it, I bet, which totally understandable given what we're doing.
And then he got, so now he's got 3 stones. He teleports back to his ship with Gamora. Let's just go ahead and like run through Thanos's.
Yeah, because we're hopping around like all of these scenes and we're seeing him collect these stones.
And Thanos as a villain, what'd you think of him?
He was well. The thing is, okay, where's the little? Did you bring in the movie pass thing?
I did not.
Okay,
no.
because
we got neat little movie passes.
Yeah, if you get we go to Regal Cinema and they had a movie pass and it was like a pamphlet with like previews and like little interviews and stuff with some of the characters, and it had like a quick recap of like where the current known stones were with a big giant spread of the Infinity Gauntlet. Was really cool. But one of the things in there was there is a editorial of one of the directors talking about how he wanted to balance Thanos as a character because he
Mhm.
is pretty overpowered. I mean, you look at the comics, any comic, everything is you're working on a grand scale there. You always when you're trying to like translate those to be properly mixed to make sense in a movie, it's always going to be a little bit different.
Mhm.
Um, and I have not read too many comics, just but I understand that is the power struggle with adaptations to these kinds of movies and media. So, like, I feel like they did a really good job with probably the materials they were given, like a really good job. He is simply a madman. And like
That's kind of well. He in his mind. He okay.
he's doing right in his mind.
Yeah,
But
Thanos
that
is. Oh, sorry. You want?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Mhm.
he's a madman in the sense that he
Well, look,
totally believes what
they
he's
don't
doing
know.
is
They don't
right.
know what his goal is.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
in the movie, his entire goal, just like it said in the trailers, is he wants to destroy half the universe. And his reasoning behind that is that there is a finite number of resources in the universe, and humanity, as in all of life, is quickly gobbling it all up, and we're going to kill ourselves due to overpopulation. So his goal, like every time he's landed on a planet, he's killed half of everybody and then left. So he believes that this is a good thing because no true good villain thinks they're the villain. They think they're doing something necessary, and he understands that he thinks he's doing some great sacrifice in killing half of everyone at random in order to save the universe or at least
Mhm.
extend the life of it. Um, and so every time he gets a new stone, like we get a lot of Thanos. He talks a lot.
He does.
And Josh Brolin, I believe, right?
I think so.
Whoever plays him did an excellent job because this is
The way he moves, the way his voice, like even inflects, is all very spot on.
mhm.
He's obviously very. He knows what he can do. He's very comfortable being the powerful one, which is probably why he believes that he belongs there so much. Because he constantly says, "I'm the only one that understands this. I'm the only one that can do
Oh,
this."
woe is me.
Yeah, like he
But it's
says he's alone, and I'm like, yeah, because you're freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's good, and we actually do get a backstory with him too, because later in one of the final confrontations, he actually uses the Reality Stone to kind of show this planet he was living on, the planet that was dying, and he volunteered to we should kill half of everybody to save it,
Yeah,
and because they didn't listen to him,
it died.
his planet died, and that's so
So
you
we got
understand.
motivation.
Yeah, he's got clear motivation, and what's the great thing is when he picks up Gamora, he picks her up out of love, and he actually expresses in very clear emotions. I don't the motion capture they did for him is
Whatever they did.
fantastic.
Yeah, he looks real. I
Hmm.
mean, like, he really looks
Like
real.
not, I mean, like there's a teen, that you could tell he's a CGI animated character,
But
but
there's weight to his movements. It like I mean, I don't
his he gets sad and his face contorts and like
yeah,
everything is real good with him.
like the finite details on his movements are very well done. There's a lot of attention there. A
Mhm.
lot of attention.
So,
So, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so his story arc, he's actually with Gamora most of the movie, and he's explaining his motivations. We get to see Gamora as a child, and we actually get to see Thanos kind of be a father to her too, because he's treating her like a daughter and like a kid, and it's almost sweet. Um,
Yeah.
it's real good. I
And
did not
then
expect them to pull it off, and then when he goes to get the Soul
the
Stone,
soul
sorry,
stone.
when he goes to get the Soul Stone,
We had a big reveal.
we get a great reveal.
I,
Red,
do we want to spoil that or not?
it's the spoiler section.
Oh, that's true.
Everyone in the theater gasped at this, but they go to this alien planet, one that we've not seen yet. I
Yeah,
don't remember its
but they go
name.
to the top of the mountain, and there's like a trial thingy that like they
There's
run
a trial master and
just yeah, just a big reapery guy, and then he like shows his face, and I forgot who he was because I hadn't seen the movie in forever.
but Red Skull shows up, and he is kind of like the
The
exposition guy
Yeah,
here.
he's like the guardian of the soul stones, like waypoint at this, and we're just like,
Yeah, everyone in the theater
Oh.
was like, "Oh!"
Like,
we weren't
they
expecting
brought
it. It
him
was
back. Okay,
like
that's different.
his only role in the movie is to explain to Thanos and Gamora how to get the Soul Stone, and essentially they have to do some kind of sacrifice, and the sacrifice is you need to give up someone you love. And honestly, this was the only misstep for me.
It was a fairly big misstep
It
for
was
me too.
really
I did not really like it all that much. I preferred okay, and
mostly because it was so obvious.
well, yeah, because like as soon as you said it, like, oh, well, Gamora's right there, and she starts going off like
Oh, you love nothing.
you don't love anything, because she legitimately believes he does not love a dang thing in the universe, and he says no, there's something, and he wants kills Gamora to get the Soul Stone, and he's legitimately upset about it.
They really sell it. They sell it as best they can. For as obvious as this was, they really pushed it, and it wasn't cringy.
No, it wasn't cringy at all, but it
No.
was. I was hoping for the Soul Stone to be not something that had not been done before.
Yeah, it was really obvious, and that was the only misstep writing wise to me. Like,
But if
because
that was the only misstep in this huge mess of a freaking chain of events,
it's hard to call it a mess of a film when it was actually really well
no,
done.
I mean like the chain of events was a mess. Like it's the person who had to sit down and look at okay, we need all this to happen in this movie. Probably had to go over it with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah,
so like I mean like the entire thing as a whole was probably a mess to look at before they got it straightened out.
so yeah, they Thanos gets the Soul Stone, and there's this weird moment. So he kills Gamora, and then he's at the bottom of the mountain again. He's got it in his hand, and then he buggers off, and he eventually goes to Titan. Let's see.
Because that's now where Tony, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange have landed, is on Titan to wait for him. Take him on his own thing. And then we get a really good little scene with them confusing the Guardians and the three other Guardians, confusing them for Thanos' army. So they have
there is a hero battle on Titan before Thanos gets there with Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man.
Between Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis.
Yeah, so that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And there's just great banter because you get Chris Pratt and
Tony Stark.
And we named Tony Stark as if that's his actor's name. And he pretty much is.
I mean, like, yeah, well, I mean, it's Star-Lord.
We're going to get so many thumbs down. We're not focusing at all.
No, it's okay.
It's fine.
No, like, yeah, it's freaking, it's just, Tony is already, like, having the biggest mental crisis just trying to get through this. Cause, like, he's playing, he has not been okay with this particular scenario for a long time, and now it's all like he has a chance to make things okay, and he's trying his best to pull things together. And he has to work with Star-Lord and his two non-focused, and he's trying to like make a plan. And
you know what it's like? It's like fresh flute and peasant poppers. Those who might come into our channel not knowing what this is, just look at the comments. The few fans of ours who will watch this, it's definitely peasant poppers and fresh flute.
My lord, yeah, that was. And let's get this big huge plan. Oh wait, what?
And they are piling the guilt on Tony too, because Peter snuck aboard the spaceship. Peter Parker, by the way, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
And he's still like 14, 15 in this movie. And actually, he might be 16.
Yeah, and Tony is not happy with it. He's like, "This is a one-way ticket," and he's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And they get this really nice moment too, where Peter Parker's like, "No, I did think this through, because I can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there is no neighborhood."
That's a great line.
Yeah, that was the best line. And then Tony was like, "Fine, all right, fine. Like you can't talk me out of my own logic, I guess."
Oh man! Then the fight on Titan between Thanos and
great, wonderful, love like the orchestration on the fight, the choreography, the fights and choreography. That's what I'm looking for.
There you go.
Holy snack!
There's so much orchestra in your version.
You know what I freaking mean? Shut up. Okay. So that, and I like, things happen so fast. They're just it's a amazing, probably one of the best Marvel movie fights ever put to film, actually.
Yeah,
We
because
have
there's
6 heroes, and they're all on one guy, and so they have the most. They have the most advantages to play off each other and move around and everything, and they take full advantage of it. We get to see Star-Lord jumping off of Doctor Strange's
the little boots.
The
little platforms.
The magic circles, and the portals are played with, which again, probably the same guy who did the Thor: Dark World, which I know Thor: Dark World people don't like to talk about this as one of the more boring movies, but I love the hammer flying scene, fight scene at the end, where like it's just popping all over the place because of being pulled and gravitational. Because playing with portals in these movies is just always done so well.
Yeah, they almost overwhelmed Thanos, but
obviously that's not gonna be the final conversation.
Yeah, but then Star-Lord gets emotional because he found out that he killed Gamora, and he ruins everything. Like honestly, the universe is doomed because of Chris Pratt, because of Star-Lord.
Well, that figure was the figure.
I mean, yeah, like
he puts the universe in danger just to save it again. That's kind of his legacy.
Yeah, so that happened, and then we go back to Wakanda. Wakanda is having a hard time because they took Vision to Wakanda to get the Mind Stone out, and they get invaded by aliens because the aliens want the Mind Stone.
Yeah, so it's like everybody, they're gearing up the entire Wakanda army, every scrap of whatever resource they can get, and oh man,
big old fight between aliens and
war. Yeah, like this is the big war scene that got teased a lot in the trailers and stuff, and it is
pretty good.
It's very good. Again, the choreography, the placement, the chain of events in the actual battle scene itself. And this battle scene goes on till the end of the movie. I mean, it's probably this one by itself. It's got to be like 20, 25 minutes long.
And it's not wasted either. It's not. It's not the boring 20-minute fight scene in Star Wars Episode 3.
No, but you can clearly tell that everybody's converging on the fight in Wakanda because we do eventually get halfway through the fight in Wakanda, we do finally get Thor
so,
like coming in. And
so Thor gets his new weapon, Storm Chaser, Storm Caller, Beta Ray Bill's hammer. He gets Beta Ray Bill's hammer, and Peter Dinklage, the dwarf that made it, said that it's a Thanos killing weapon. Like it is powerful enough to kill Titans, which apparently are like
a race.
Yeah, it's a race. It's like they're like Kryptonians, and not only that, it also had the power of the Bifrost, so Thor could go anywhere as fast as the Bifrost could.
Yeah.
And he brought Rocket Raccoon and Groot with him, and he's got this brand new spanking hammer. He's all lit up and in his mega form, and it's just
so wonderful.
So good.
No, because like what happened was they're struggling with the army. It is a huge army, and they have to focus and funnel it like to them specifically. And we have plenty of time watching this battle slowly ramp up before they open the floodgates. And right as they're getting a little too overwhelmed, Thor just comes in, and Banner's like, "Ha ha! You're all in trouble now.
You're all screwed now." Because Banner has not been Hulk the entire movie except
Hulk
at the beginning.
No.
Yeah, Hulk keeps refusing.
Like he actually his head turns into Hulk for like 2 seconds. And he goes, "No!" And Banner's like, "You big green asshole."
That was good. So we don't get a lot of Hulk, but we get Banner in the Hulkbuster, which is great.
So we do get that because he's totally willing to fight. He doesn't care if he can't turn into the Hulk at this point. He's like, I'm not staying out. No, I can't do that. So then basically the entire fight focuses on the fight in Wakanda. That's the whole rest of the movie.
And during the Wakanda fight, there was also the Thanos and the other Avengers fight. The other Avengers lose. Thanos gets the Time Stone, and it's implied that Doctor Strange has some kind of gambit planned.
Yeah.
Because Tony almost gets killed by Thanos. No, Thanos doesn't kill anyone in the scene. He almost does, but at the last second, Strange gives up the Time Stone
in exchange for Tony's life, and he promises no tricks. But we also saw Doctor Strange in a previous scene playing with the Time Stone to look at all of the possibilities of what would happen and the outcome of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he saw over 14 trillion or something like that.
I think it was 14 million possibilities.
And something he saw many possibilities, and they asked, and Tony asked, well, how many of them do we win? And he replied with just one. So Strange obviously has an ace up his sleeve, which I think is great because Doctor Strange is always one of the more powerful characters from the comics, from what I understand. So I like that his movie was kind of downplayed a little bit, and because he's still new to his powers, but he was such a genius that he could work everything, and I like that they keep making him exponentially more powerful and showing that off in every movie, and this was probably one of the best displays of his complete study, because I don't think the guy ever stopped studying.
Yeah, no, it was really good. So once Thanos gets the last stone, he goes to the fifth stone. He's got 5 stones now,
and he has to get the Mind Stone off of Vision.
He heads to Earth. It looks like Thanos' army is beaten because they killed all of the little mini bosses.
Yeah, they killed the majority of
and
the
all the
actual
mooks,
army.
And all the mooks are dead. Thanos shows up, just hand waves his way past the Avengers. Makes his way to Vision. There's this really touching scene between Scarlet Witch and Vision where he wants to sacrifice himself. He tells Scarlet Witch to blow up the Mind Stone, which she does.
Yeah.
And Thanos responds very sympathetically. He's like, I have suffered loss and I've mourned this day. Just like you.
I know how you feel, child, is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh God, don't. And she's like, no.
Yeah,
you know. And and honestly, he probably does because they've played him as this super sympathetic. Which blows my mind how they did that while being so cheesy but so real.
Like, he's a sincere character. He's just sincerely nuts, like she said.
Yes.
Yeah, he's nuts. So he uses the time stone, rewinds time, brings Vision back
just to rip the stone out of his head. And
by the way, great. That's how I would have written that. I couldn't.
No, because the thing is they actually Wanda succeeded in killing her boyfriend. Like, she did it for the sake of she just did that, and he undid it, and I was like, that is salt in the freaking wound. That is
when you undo when the heroic sacrifice means nothing, and then he just takes the mind, just kills Vision, takes the Mind Stone, giant hole in his head. There's nothing.
That scene alone was enough to bring tears to my
Yeah.
eyes.
Rendering a heroic sacrifice useless. I love it. Then Thor comes in and demonstrates the
new hammer.
Boom.
It's an axe, actually.
It's an axe.
It's what they said. It's an axe. It's not a new hammer. It's an axe, but it's basically his new hammer. It's connected to his power, and he just demonstrates just how thoroughly it sticks in his chest.
Yeah, he actually overpowers the Power Stone in the gauntlet. Like, he hurls it. Thanos does like a gauntlet laser,
and it just cuts right through it, straight into him, and Thor's like, yup.
Hits Thanos right in the chest. Thanos has just enough life in him to taunt Thor and said, you should have aimed for the head. Snaps his fingers.
Boom.
Quiet.
There's no music after this scene. There's hardly any background. The only background ambience is very light, very subtle. There's no. I wouldn't call it music. I would call it ambience.
Yeah, and then there's this weird thing where I think Thanos goes inside the Soul Stone. It's not real clear. He has like a Dumbledore vision with baby Gamora, like toddler Gamora.
Yeah.
Where she says, "Did you do it?" And he goes, "Yeah." She says, "At what cost?" And he says, "Everything." And then it goes out, and it's back to normal. Thanos is still dying with an axe in his chest, but the Infinity Gauntlet is destroyed. His entire left side of his body is ruined.
Oh yeah,
and
Thor was not gentle with the axe.
Yeah, Thor's like, "What did you do?" And Thanos just disappears with the Space Stone, and then people start dying.
Like, just not even like in a noticeable. They just start literally falling apart and turning to dust. Like, the first one we see is Bucky.
Bucky died.
Bucky, he calls us. He says Steve, and we just see him crumble in front of Captain America's eyes, and he goes, and Steve can hardly we never see him face, even when like things happen, we only see him flinch like once or twice, and this is when reality starts sinking in, and he is like slowly understanding what we see, and we just go through all of these scenes of literally just
half the cast. Well, everyone, almost every hero from Phase 2 and beyond starts crumbling to dust. The only notable Black Panther died.
Taking up his royal guard.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch died. Really, the only people left who did not crumble into dust are the original Avengers. And the worst one was Peter.
Oh well, yeah.
Peter Parker.
Okay, so the thing is even when that happened, Tony Stark is still on the other planet with Star-Lord, Mantis, Drax, Peter Parker, and Doctor Strange. Oh, and Gamora's sister.
Nova?
No, I think
it's not Nova.
I don't remember her name. Gamora. Anyway, the sister that wanted to kill Thanos is there as well, and she and Tony are the only two left, and Peter Parker literally dies in Tony's arms.
Dies crying. Like,
yeah, because he's still a kid, and so Tony is. And Strange looks at Tony and I forget what he said.
Yeah, this was the only way. Like Tony, like Doctor Strange has some kind of gambit.
Yeah, no, he knows that something's gonna happen. Like, I mean, the thing is like as soon as this many people started falling, I'm like, okay, like now the guesstimate is what's gonna be retconned, basically, like who's coming back versus who isn't, because yeah, like Black Panther gone, Scarlet Witch gone.
I'm surprised they killed Black Panther. I really
am. Oh god, yeah, no, I was like, oh, he's only even had his first movie with that.
Like it was really cool in Civil War, and Black Panther was pretty good, and then and then the movie ends with Thanos on some alien planet in some kind of farmhouse, and this is actually, I know this is a reference to the comics. Thanos.
It's also a reference to what he said.
What?
It's also a reference to what he said in the beginning of the movie.
It's all what?
A reference. He said in the beginning of the movie that what he wanted was to sit in his chair and look at the sunset at a grateful universe.
Right. Yeah.
So that's exactly what he does at the end of the movie. He sits in his chair and he's watching the sunset and he smiles.
He wins. Yeah, Thanos wins in this movie.
Like, it's just the most content, happy smile. Like, I did such a wonderful thing, and I just wanted to punch him in the face.
It was great, because, like I said, he's probably the most sincere villain we've had. He's nuts. He's knucking futz, guys, but he's very well played. So if you need,
like a person.
Huh?
He acts like an actual
He acts like a person.
He acts like a person who truly believes that he's doing the right thing, and that's why he's so terrifying.
Because you almost kind of root for him a little bit, like
you want him to succeed for himself because you want him to feel okay, but at the same time, him feeling okay means the death of trillions.
Yeah, and not only that, our post-credit sequence is Nick Fury and his assistant, Agent Hill.
They have a car accident and they go to see the other person in the accident and they're like, oh well, there's nobody there, and then Agent Hill starts disintegrating and Fury goes, code red, and he goes and he was sending a message on like an emergency thing. Obviously, they
some kind of alien beeper.
Yeah, like they just like watch the helicopter crash into a building, and they're both, and he's just going.
And so one of the funniest parts of the movie, of course, because this is Sam Jackson playing Nick Fury, as he was disintegrating, he goes, "Mother," and then just gone. Yeah. That was great.
He basically just makes sure he's get his little messenger pager sent, and then he's like, right, and then we get to see
on the pager, and it was Go ahead. Go ahead. You can.
Yeah, the pager falls to the ground, and we just it says sending, 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 and then beep, beep, beep. Like this is like the longest, most drawn out, like 10 seconds.
It was good.
And then we get to see like a very specific logo appear on the pager.
And it was Captain Marvel's logo.
Yeah.
So we're really excited now because apparently Captain Marvel's coming in, and she's supposed to be awesome. I don't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The initial rumor was that she was going to be in part 1.
And no, yeah, she's not in this at
No,
all.
she's not in this one, but she's probably gonna be the backup, which is why I'm also my personal theory is that they are going to go and fix Vision's body
Mhm.
because they did have a theory that like because they're talking about like how he was built and how like he was a mixture of Ultron, the Mind Stone, Jarvis,
Mhm.
all these different layers, and they wanted to
Well,
like separate the.
let's finish up with how we feel about the movie, and then let's do a different video for theories. What do you
Okay,
think?
yeah, we'll do
And
that later.
we'll do that. We'll do the theory video tomorrow.
Probably after we see it again.
Yeah,
Think
I
on
think
it a
it's
little
safe.
bit. Yeah.
So overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I liked it a lot. It is very. I like downer endings. I really enjoyed Logan. One of my favorites, in fact. It's not my favorite Marvel movie.
More bittersweet.
Logan's very bittersweet. This one,
This
this
one,
was a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, this okay. I have not been in a good place the past 2 weeks, and I deal with like the regular anxiousness and stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And like this completely like I want to go and lay under a blanket and cry. That is my complete and utter feelings. I still feel like I am in shock, and the movie ended over an hour ago. There was so much serious death. Like the last 20 minutes are so draining. So draining. Like I understand why it has to be part 2, but I feel like this movie in particular is going to be a lot easier to watch with the second part intact. Right now, it is just depressing to even think about. Like I need a bowl of fucking ice cream. That is legitimately how I feel right now. I'm going to cry again. I know I am.
Well, but you're also you're not in a great place, but I don't think okay. Even if you're in a bad place, is this movie gonna like ruin you?
Well, I mean, not unless you're like really, really, really oversensitive. If like you have very specific things that bug you and that are gonna get you down, like there are certain movies that I will personally avoid for things that I do not personally cannot handle. But either way, if you're just like this is your normal run of the mill. And honestly, if I because there was a kid crying at the theater.
Oh yeah, there was poor kid like in the front row just
sobbing.
bawling. Yeah,
sobbing.
I felt bad for
that
him.
that was hard to listen to. I feel like you know a lot of people who don't who just like take movies. Your casual moviegoer might be like, what the hell? Like they're not used to comic stories or something, you know, like. Because like
everyone in the theater, like when the credits rolled, they're like, "What?
Yeah,
that's it."
I heard one person just give a very internet why, and it was like, I was just like, yeah, but I mean, yeah, because like the only reason I think I'm even okay, like where I am, is because the minute that many people started, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get like half of this cast back. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
we're not killing this many, especially not with the original actors still all alive.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like now, I'm like, because I know.
I think we're getting into theory crafting. Yeah. So let's do that tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this review. A couple talk over each other and just we're trying to. I know I can tell the movie better than you can.
No, I really liked it, but I feel like I'm going to appreciate it a lot more with part 2 because like the downer endings, I prefer bittersweet. I'm okay with a little bit of sad, but this was just fucking great. Really, really damn good.
I loved it. I'm energized. I'm excited for the next movie.
Freaking pessimist.
Can't wait. But like I said, I'm into this. I like sad things, and I like it. I like what is it? I like the darkest hour kind of thing, and this is the darkest hour.
Oh yeah, I mean I do too, but I like the redemption. I
think we're gonna get it, and I think
yeah, no, I know we're gonna get it, but it's just we're getting it in like a year.
We're still rambling.
No, I know, but that's just what I'm saying. Like, I love the Darkest Hour stuff too, but I usually am not okay until it's over.
I can't raise an eyebrow.
No.
Because I'm raising an eyebrow. You're suck?
No, you're stuck.
I'm stuck. Okay.
Yeah, it's stuck.
So we're gonna go to bed, and we're gonna go see it tomorrow, and you can expect another video tomorrow. Thank you guys for putting up with us. How long did we go?
I have no idea.
Probably way too long. So
Okay.
anyway, we went for an hour. So we went for about half the movie talking about the movie. We loved it. Go see it, please. We want to talk more about it with you.
Too, yeah.
Put in the comments below if you saw the movie tonight. Tell us what you thought of it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Or if you like casual vlogs like these, tell us what you think about that. If you thought we didn't work together well and we kept talking over each other too, we probably did. But
probably do.
You could tell us. You could tell us how bad we did.
Yeah,
So
how bad, or I don't know. Some people think we're kind of cute, I guess.
no, I don't think we're cute. No, not as cute as Scarlet Witch.